Hey, how you doing? Well, we are back again, and I've got another video here that I want to do, and this is um, a rather interesting topic in that the way I put it down here is I'm going to use the title here, Twin Flames, but you could use soul connections or whatever you want. It would appear at this particular point in time that one of the main things that's happening is a great many of us who are and have reached a certain growth of consciousness and understanding and developed our empathic abilities to such a degree and have acquired enough, what's the word I'm going to use here? Enough spiritual maturity and development of personality that we start filtering through our consciousness the core issues. And I'm not talking about local stuff. I'm talking about manifesting your parents' idiosyncrasies, their lack of development of personality, their characteristics and traits, their physical conditions, their medical conditions, their psychological conditions. And it's really becoming quite rampant as of late. Now, some might say, well, how can that happen if this person is a twin flame or a graduate, as you call it, Mel, coming back in to be of service? First of all, and I may not have mentioned this before, but when a graduate returns to represent in the twin flame community or any other part of society that's going through change, unlike other souls coming in that are just recycling, who have to deal and come back with stuff, and you can all assume whatever you want on that department, that they have to deal with at some point. Graduates return back in, they come back in because they've done all that stuff. They've cleaned at a personal level. They've done all that stuff that people still like to call karma or whatever you want to, or core issues or whatever. So they come back in. They have a completely clear etheric body. There's no contained stuff in it that needs to be cleaned or purged. Okay, that's a very big difference here. One of the reasons for that is, one, they've done it, and two, it has a great benefit in the long term for the soul group, the bloodline, or the family that they come into. And at some point, and a lot of times this will start happening early in childhood, they will start taking on all of the stuff of their parents, their brothers and sisters, their grandparents, etc., etc., etc. So by the time they reach adulthood, they have accumulated within their etheric body all of those additional templates, which is why they come back in with a clean thing. And that's part of spiritual growth, or the recycling or reincarnation cycle we get caught in, because we keep incessantly believing that we have these preconceived ideas of things that we've done wrong or did bad things. We have to come back and make restitution for them, which is one of the traps of recycling. And many of us still fall into it. And we even come back with our old religious belief indoctrinations and everything else. This is another big trap that most people don't even realize until they're halfway through their spiritual awakening to realize how trapped they were. So when these graduates come in, they don't have that issue because they've already done it. So they can become actually like a cesspool for anything that needs to be corrected in the soul group, the bloodline, or whatever. And they will do this, and this is going to be a damn good video. Some of you really need to pay attention to this because it's going to be very helpful. It already has been in the first 5 minutes of it. And as you reach each level of your consciousness evolving or waking up, and that's what graduates have to do, they have to literally wake up and wake up to the information and wake up to the access of all of the androgynous state of consciousness and being within themselves. As this happens over a period of time, what happens is they start to get and delve into the actually core issues. Now, it can become a real problem for some if everything is not in play and the pieces come out in the right way. And what's happened with a lot of graduates is because they're coming in and they're redoing. If anyone thinks it's a picnic, it's not, because you're faced with a lot of vibrations, a lot of energies that you haven't been in contact with. In some cases, let me point this out. A lot of these graduates coming in have only come in because they have expertise or experience, if I can put it that way, in being really good at certain things. So for some of them that have come in, it's been a long time since they've come back in, okay? Or went out, whatever the case may be, by timeline figures here. So the very first thing they have to do when they come back in is they have to get acclimatized to being in a physical body, which is very, very restrictive. I find the physical body, even when I was younger, very restrictive and very limiting. Always been that way, and I couldn't figure out why. And now I know. But as you become more accomplished with this, what happens is now we're dealing, at this particular point, a lot of graduates, twin flames, if you will, or whatever term you want to call them, it doesn't matter, are now dealing with the core or the, let me put it this way. Everyone on the planet right now, whether they believe this or not, and some of them are going to scoff, and that includes children, all have PSTD. Somebody's going to say, you're crazy, knowing that. Okay? Take a look at the lives we've been living. Everybody on this pea-picking planet has been living in a stressful world, working in stressful jobs, in stressful situations where more and more and more of your time is demanded for less and less return on your time. More and more stress is placed on the family unit. More and more stress is placed on students going to school. More and more stress is being placed upon them to get more and more and more and more education. The world is in a constant state of stress. Everyone. So imagine, if you will, close to 8 billion people, and we'll take out maybe a billion or two who are not under stress. And imagine all of that energy of stress emanating outward. 6 billion people under stress in some way, shape, or form. What do you think is going to happen? That's radiating outward. Everyone has an energy field that extends around them and radiates outward, depending on the person, about 6 feet, give or take a yard or two. all right, and add them all together in a big city where everyone is they're in a compartment, okay? The one thing that I noticed about humanity is we live like we're in a pigeon loft. That's what I've noticed, okay? We just live in these buildings, okay, and with floors on them, and each one is designated to a box, okay, and this is where we pair up, and this is where we have our youngsters, and we live in these boxes, all right, for the duration of our life, and we have one below us and one above us and one beside us on each side, and you're surrounded by other people who are full of stress, and we keep building them higher and higher. So you have the situation that as it is. So what's happening is people under stress do weird things, all right? Their behavior becomes erratic. They need stimulants of some kind to relax. Hey, we'll smoke a little pot, blow our brains out. Hey, we'll do a little coke. Hey, we'll snort a few beers. And what happens, you have a few people who can avoid this. So what happens is you have at this time preceding this generation now that we're living in, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Preceding generations that got you to this point and going back even further, all right? To give you an example, I'm now experiencing in my dream state trainings really fun things, okay? I'm now experiencing stuff from what you would call the future, okay, in different timelines that is core issues with the people there, and I'm experiencing them through me in the dream state. At the same time, I'm experiencing stuff that my parents experienced hundreds of years ago, all right? And I got both hands coming through me at this particular point. And a lot of the stuff doesn't come as a vision or an experience. It comes in form to me as a black energy. I see it and I feel it in black energy, not in a visual color movie-like presentation. It's a movie-like presentation, but it's all in black type of thing. So I know if you have light, you have darkness, right? So you must have both, and you have to do both. And this is what a lot of people are experiencing right now. They are experiencing because of this particular shutdown on the planet that's going on. We now have a lot of people who are experiencing exactly what I'm talking about because the pace, the stress has been eliminated and everybody had a timeout to do something. Think, take your time. Where are you going to go? You got nowhere to go, and you got no money to get there. So what are you going to do? You're going to think. And as you're thinking, you're going to go through a certain amount of changes in the states of your consciousness. So a lot of people will say, well, I can't wait to get back to normal. There is no going back to normal to the way it was. There's going to be so many people are going to lose their businesses and go bankrupt financially and declare bankruptcy in all segments of society. There is no going back to the way it was. There is no normal anymore. So now, at this point during the shutdown, we can really clear the core issue. And this is what's been happening. And this is why, at this point, a lot of people will have found that since the shutdown took place, that they're really picking up and flowing through with a lot of stuff that they know is not theirs. And here's the key to it. Don't get your head into it. Just allow it to flow through you. Don't take it personally as a reflection of you. That's the most important part. I want to repeat that. Don't take it as a personal reflection of you and your personality. It's simply a reflection of things that need to flow through and be eliminated from. Now, the other thing that I want to mention is this. This is new. Each and every one of you, because it's already happened for me, it's going to sound a little bit off to many of you. During the course of this shutdown, for those of you who allow some people are going to want to call this karma. Okay, if you want to call it karma, that's okay. As some of you would say, well, this is karma. Well, no, it's not. It's a lot of things, but it's not that. But that's a word you can use. During the time of this shutdown, as you facilitate or become a channel for eliminating the soul group, the bloodline of that whole encompasses a lot of people. As you do this and you don't get caught up in it, each and every one of you is going to receive a gift. Okay? Somebody said, oh, how much are we getting, Mel? You're not getting anything in that way, but you are getting a gift. As you facilitate the clearing, and you don't necessarily need to be in a twin flame community, it can be in other aspects of the spiritual community. Many people will, this is not just a one thing for one particular segment of the spiritual community. As you complete this, and it will be completed, and you will know when it's completed, you will have a feeling. And then you're going to receive a gift. The gift is, you're going to receive what I believe to be, and what I believe I have experienced, is what is called, from my terminology, an additional sheath body. That sheath body, in most cases, will feel like an energetic presence descending down from above, and it's not higher self. It is a new sheath body, completely clear, and it will integrate with you over a few days, but you will feel it as a gentle impression coming down, overtopping of you, and simply flowing gently down through your body, completely right down into your feet. Now, for some, this will come in the dream state. It will vary from person to person. What I'm saying here is not written in stone, okay? Don't take me literally here. This is the way I have experienced it. As this sheath body comes in, and you'll know when it's coming in, by the experience you have, you'll just know. I can't explain it any further than that. If you're a really good empath and you really feel things, you'll feel it. If you're a seeing type person, you'll actually see it. Some of you will see it and feel it at the same time. When it comes in, it's going to take about 2 to 3 weeks for it to integrate totally. During that time, you may feel a little weird. Ask me, I know. Because you may feel as though like you're having something like, what's that mental disorder? I think when people, you start to lose it and one day you're back kind of thing. I can't think of it right off the top of my head, but somebody will know what I'm talking about. You'll be here one day, the next day you're not, you're just kind of in a different place. It'll take about 2 to 3 weeks for it to totally integrate. After that, what you're going to be able to do, because you will have reached the state of consciousness that you can do this, you, individually you, will be able to begin, because you have now integrated the 12 chakra system, and it's now functional in your body, and this is where the two come into play, and because your belief systems and your creative belief systems that you have created for your new personality, you now can download this new sheath body, and if you want, you can call it a replacement for your old etheric body, which is not functional anymore. Okay, so now I'm getting to the other part. So in other words, what I'm saying to you is, for those of you who have reached a certain point where you've processed or you've eliminated a lot of the stuff in your soul group, your bloodline, your family, and these can be a host of whatever you want. This can be alcoholism, it can be drugs, it can be cocaine, it can be hereditary and genetic effects, biological malfunctions, medical conditions. You being the one then can then download them into this new etheric body, starting with yourself, in a correct fashion. You will be guided to do so by higher self in combination with yourself to do this. So you need to wait until you get the go signal. When you do, when you go into your meditations, if you do meditate, and most of you probably will be meditating, my suggestion is this, is if you have any vehicle problems, and I'm talking about physical body, that would be the time to see them in the correct state of mind. Do not do a healing on yourself. Just see the physical imbalance in a positive, creative note within yourself. Remember that point, okay? It's a very, very important point, all right? The other thing is drink a lot of clean water. I don't mean friggin' tap water. I mean clean, clear, pristine. Oh, I like that word. Pristine. Doesn't that vibrate with you? That's almost as good as titillating. Actually, I think it's even better. Wait a minute, try that again. Pristine. Oh, yes, right down to my toes. Can you dig it? I mean, that's how sensitive I am to words. Pristine. Try that word on your own. Pristine. Oh, it's almost sensual, isn't it? Oh, whoopee cushion time. Remember those things? Whoopee cushion? Whoopee. Pristine. I love it. I know I'm a bit goofy, but hey, I have a lot of fun. Okay. Anyways, as I was saying, when you do this and you go through a whole protocol, but wait until you feel the downward loading of it and give it time to adjust, 2 to 3 weeks, like I said, and then understand that you've been given a replacement. I call it a sheath body initially, but then it will take the place of your etheric body, and it'll give you a new format or a new template or a new form of which you can begin to work with, okay? Now, I have to be honest here. I didn't know about this part of the video. It just came to me as I was doing the video. This is not where I thought I was going to be going, but I had this experience about a week ago, and from what I understand, this sheath body has been in the process of coming down for quite a period of time. And for some, it got stuck, and for me, it got stuck about halfway in the process kind of thing. So I had some help with it, and finally I've integrated it, and now I'm giving it to you. One of the things that I assume always, is when something happening to me, knowing where I am in the state of evolution, I know immediately that it's probably happening to a host of others, especially a lot of people who have subscribed to my YouTube channel. So I'm just letting you know now. If you've experienced it, or you are experiencing it, hey, make a comment in the box, below the thing kind of thing. and let me know how it's going. Okay. The other thing, the final thing that I want to mention here also, during this time of the integration, it is very important that you maintain a high caliber intake of protein. All right. I'm not talking about steak and pork either. All right. Whatever protein that you can get a hold of that fits your needs, which may be a lot different than mine. All right. Okay, I'm going to leave this one there because I'm told I've said too much already. But no, I'm just kidding. Of course, they're telling me, okay, Mel, that's enough. You can stop now. So I get the voice talks to me every once in a while, you know, kind of thing. So I just kind of throw it in. Anyways, you got 26 minutes. That's long enough. What do you think? Okay, we'll leave it there. If you have any questions, well, you know where you can comment it. All right, take care, everybody. Oh, you'll notice that the hoodie phenomena, the three hoods, you won't be seeing them for a while. I'll put them away. I got this thing for hoodies, okay? I must have about 9 or 10 of them. And the last 3 I bought really got my cookies off, okay? And I just love those 3 hoodies, okay? So if I got anybody bored with seeing them, hey, my apologies. Okay, have a great day, everybody.